So I invite you to take a deep breath and feel the presence of God that is within you and all around you. And this night, as we prepare for the 4th of July, I invite you to feel into that spirit, that power, that activity of God that wants to set you free. That we did not come into this world to be in bondage to the things of the world. We came to be free. Free in mind, free in body. We came to be free. And that whatever is going on in your life tonight, if there's a need or a situation, if there's a challenge or an obstacle that looks like it's in front of you, God gave you the spirit of freedom. God gave you a spirit to be completely and totally free. For you were given the very Spirit of God. You were given the presence of the divine. You were given all that God is. Not to be stuck or trapped or limited, but to be free. Free in every area of your life. Free to know the glory of God. I was born to be free. I was born to be free. I was born to be free. That tonight, are you willing for the power of your soul to set you free of any limitation? Are you willing to overcome any obstacle or situation, not by effort, not by work, but by the very power of God, the presence of God that is within you? That God in you is setting you free completely. That the Spirit of God goes before you to do that which God and only God can do. The infinite presence and power of God is at work in every area of your life. God is all powerful. God is all wise. God is amazing. And your spirit was created out of the infinite Spirit of God. I am free. I am free. I am free. I am free to be the highest and best. I am free to be greater than any situation. I am free to know the infinite love and power of God. I am free. For the Spirit of God in me sets me free over and over and over again. I am free. Tonight we claim that spiritual truth. We claim that living presence and power We claim that there's only one presence and one power at work in every level of our life. God the good. And that the goodness of God sets us free to be our greatest self. I am free. I am free. And our soul shouts and rejoices that we are free. Our soul knows the truth. So we rejoice, we give thanks that we are free. That God in us is mighty, powerful God. So in the name and through the power of the living Christ, we give thanks. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. Okay, so my question for you tonight is, are you free? We got one quiet yes in the second row. Right? So the question is, are you free? Reverend Jimmy votes for yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how free are you? A 5, okay? A 5? An 8? Anybody else want to play the game? How free are you? A 9, praise God, right? Because I want you to see tonight, how free do you feel? How free are you? Because I believe that every soul comes into this life experience to know themselves as free. Now, you would think that if you come into this world to know yourself as free, then you shouldn't have any obstacles or challenges or problems. We should just dance around with little butterflies and unicorns and just experience our freedom and dance around and have happy, joy all the time, right? But that's not the world that we came into, true? We came into the world where Jesus said, in the world there's tribulation, but be of good cheer. It was kind of a paraphrase of the bumper sticker, stuff happens, right? So Jesus spoke to that 2,000 years ago, that stuff happens. And so we would think that we would come into this world, if we want to know that we're free, we would think that we would come into this world and everything would be smooth and calm and peaceful and wonderful, and we would just dance around in our freedom, right? But I don't know about you, but that's not the world that I see. Right? Does anybody live in that unicorn rainbow celebration of happy, happy, joy, joy? If you do not live in my house. Right? Or maybe, you're not watching the news that I'm watching. In the world that I live in, it looks like there's stuff going on. And it looks like we can make a case for maybe we're not as free as we think we are. But what if the spiritual truth is that we were born to be free? And all that's going on in the world today is to demonstrate that our spirit is greater than that. That our spirit came to be free in the midst of stuff. And that the stuff isn't here to keep us in bondage, but the stuff is here to truly demonstrate how big, how strong our soul is. So if we came into this world and there was nothing going on, you might begin to believe that you have a little soul who's not very powerful. But in a world that looks to be in a time of great change, you can know yourself free right here. How many of you have ever wanted to win the lottery? Now, why is that? I mean, because, from time to time, I've been known to buy a little, lottery or a quick pick or a Mega Millions. I realized just by sharing all three of those, I kind of admitted that I know a lot about that, and I've been willing to check the numbers from time to time to see if I was an instant millionaire. But why do you think we do that? Well, Richard, we'd like to be filthy rich. And if not filthy rich, at least dirty rich, right? Right? We want to be rich, right? Because what does that level of abundance give us? Freedom. We believe that if we get to that level of abundance, then we will be free. And we believe that those lucky numbers really are our chance, our opportunity to be free. Like that those numbers set us free. And if we can just figure out how to get those right numbers, then we'll be free, because we believe that money can set us free. And tonight I want to talk about, is there any other way? Is there any other way with all that's going on in the world today that we can know freedom other than hitting it big? So that we can all live full, happy, prosperous lives. Because I believe that our soul came for this. We came for this. So, I have 3 points that I want to make tonight that I believe that are fundamentally important if we're going to know ourselves as free. And they may be kind of a surprise. I may be going in a direction that you don't expect, but I believe that if we're going to be free, if we're going to be free in mind and body, spiritually, I believe that these 3 points are fundamentally important if we're going to know ourselves as free, whole, and complete spiritual beings. And the first one is, I believe that we need to know what we want. Can you read that? Can you zoom in on it, Don? Know what I want, right? Can you see it? Okay, good. I love it when it works. Okay, so I believe that this is the number one thing before we can ever really be free, is that you have to know what you want. And I think for some of us, that's really a challenge. Have you ever gone to somebody with a Cheesecake Factory? There's like 16 pages of menu. And you have to like make sure they get there like an hour early just to start reading the menu so they can kind of whittle it down to like 5 choices, and then you can kind of help them whittle it down to 3 and then 2, and then when they finally get down to their choice, it's like, oh my gosh, if we live in an infinite universe and we can't even get through the Cheesecake Factory menu, like how are we going to do this, right? And over again, I want you to see that we have to know what we want. Over and over again, we have to know what we want. That we can't be free till we know what we want. And sometimes what we want, we don't see. Imagine, like this is a mountaintop, and this is your highest desire. Okay? Now imagine there's a level of cloud cover that kind of obscures this. Now imagine you're happy, you're down here, and you think, well, there's something that I want. I know there's something that I want. I can feel that longing in my soul for something, but I'm not sure what it is. And I'd like you to suggest that when you're in that place where you know that there's something that you want, but you can't see what it is, it's because that your desire is greater than what you believe in. That what we want, we don't believe that we can have, so we don't even tell ourselves anymore what we want. That what we want is right there. And sometimes what we want, it looks like it's in conflict with what others want. Like if I really went for what I want, maybe the people that I love and care about wouldn't get what they want. So I'm just going to kind of back off on my want. I'm not really going to have my want because it may create too much anxiety in our relationship if I fully go for what I want. Or sometimes what we want is just in conflict with the other things that we want. And what I'd like you to see today is that until we get laser clear about what we want, really want, that it's hard for us to be free. You know, Abraham Maslow came up with this hierarchy of needs. And he said that our lowest level needs are for things like food and water, for our physical needs. And the highest level of needs is for self-actualization. And you would think that everyone would be choosing the highest level, self-actualization. But until you get your lower level needs met, you never start looking up here. So what I want you to see today is that whatever the want is that you're clear about, I want that want fulfilled. Because until that lower level want is complete, we don't move up the chain to self-actualization. And self-actualization is really what we came for, to be the greatest version of ourselves. So to heal this planet, to do the work that we need to do, we need to start with the needs that aren't being addressed and get those addressed before we get to move up. If people need food or water, we need to get those needs taken care of before they can even focus on self-actualization. That we have to take care of the lower level needs first before we get to move up. And over again, when we know what we want, it becomes possible to have it. So does everybody understand that you got it to be free? You have to know what you want. Does that make sense to everybody? The second one is, you have to believe that what you want did I spell all that right? I before E except after C? Okay, good. So the first one is you have to know what you want, and the second one is you actually have to believe that it's possible to have what you want. Because over and over again, as spiritual beings, if we don't believe it's possible to have what we want, we never go forth to create that which we desire most. And over again, I want to ask you to be free. Do you believe that you can have what you want? And this is where it gets interesting. Right? Because all of us have those things that tell us, that whisper in our ear, you can't have that. You can't be that happy. You can't be that prosperous. You can't be that in love. You're too old. You don't have this. You don't have that. You're missing this. You're missing that. And over again, I want you to see whatever it is that's whispering in your ear that prevents you from believing that you can have what you want. Because that belief is a lie. Over and over again, it is an illusion that whispers in our ear that keeps us from the glory of God. It keeps us from having the life that was promised to us. If you know what you want and you believe that you can have it, what's the first thing that begins to happen? If you know what you want and you believe that you can have what you want, guess what's the first thing that begins to happen? You actually begin to move in that direction. Like if you know what you want and you believe that you can have it, you actually begin to take steps, simple baby steps to move you in that direction. And the more that you begin to move in that direction, the more that Spirit opens the door and reveals your path, your way to get to where you want to go. But if you don't believe that you can have it, you never take the steps that are necessary to create it. You never allow yourself to move in the direction of your heart's desire. That to be free, if we don't believe that we can feed everybody, guess what we do? Nothing. If we don't believe that we can live in a world where everybody's needs are met, if we don't believe that, guess what we do? Nothing. If we don't believe that we can change the world so that it works for everybody, if we don't believe that, then guess what we do? Nothing. Like your greatest heart's desire, if you don't believe it's possible to have it, you will sit on the couch and do nothing because you don't think there's any point in even trying. But the moment you believe that you can have what you want, you begin to move in the direction of your greatest desires, and those greatest desires get to be fulfilled. Do you know what you want? And do you believe that what you want is possible? Is it possible for you? Is it possible for your children? Is it possible for your community? Is it possible for your church? Is it possible for your country? Is it possible for your world? That if you don't believe it, we don't take even the little bitty baby steps that God needs us to take to move into that direction. I know what I want. Will you say that with me? I know what I want. I know what I want. Together? I know what I want. 2, I believe I can have what I want. Together? I believe I can have what I want. One more time. I believe I can have what I want. One more time, like we actually mean it. I believe I can have what I want. Now, what's interesting about life is every time your greatest fear comes up to be your great obstacle. Now you think, how rude is that? Like, why would that be? Why would the universe be created in such a way that your fear stands in front of you over and over again? Why wouldn't a loving God just blow that stuff just right out the door? Because your soul came to know its power and its freedom. And by placing that desire in your heart, every bit of your disbelief comes up to be healed. Not because the universe wants you to play small or live in lack or limitation or not have the life or the relationship or the love or the work that you want, but so that your soul heals. and so that it heals at a deep and profound level. Tonight, would you be willing to honestly look at the story, the disbelief that's going on within you? Would you be willing to look at the things that have kept you from believing? Maybe write them down. And would you be willing to ask God for help in overcoming those disbeliefs so that you can get to the other side? I believe I can have what I want, and that my disbelief is here to strengthen me, to heal me, to make me a more powerful soul, to teach me about what's possible in my life. I know what I want. Together, I know what I want. I believe I can have what I want. Together, I believe I can have what I want. Can you imagine if every day you woke up and just said those two things over and over again, how different your life would be? I know what I want, and I believe I can have what I want. If every day you began to affirm over and over and over again that I believe I can have what I want, can you imagine in the course of a year that it would take you in a very different direction? If every day you had to affirm that I believe I can have what I want. Let's go to 3. This is the final one. Everything that's why I wasn't a school teacher, tells me I can't have it is an Can you read that? You know what it says? Everything that tells me that I can't have it is an illusion. Everything that tells me I can't have what I want is a lie. It's a lie. It's an illusion. It's part of the human experience, but it's still a lie. And what I want you to see is that sometimes our brain looks for validation why we can't have what we want. It does. It looks for validation. It looks at what's going on in the stock market, or what's going on with the economy, or what's going on at work, or what's going on here, or the market, or the housing thing, or this or that. And it begins to look, and sometimes what it looks for is more illusion to keep us from having what we want. And what I want you to see over and over again is I want you to be willing to call the illusion, to call the lie a lie. That there's something powerful when a spiritual being acknowledges that the lie is a lie. When you can actually name it as a lie. Even though you might have believed the lie for years and years and years. Oh, I can't get there. I can't have that. My life can't be that good. It can't be that special. I can't have a relationship that wonderful. When we begin to call the lie a lie, it sets us free. So what lie have you believed that keeps you from knowing what you want and believing you can have it? What is the lie that has made you smaller? What is the lie that has made you fearful? What is the lie that's got you to stop, to sit down, to be quiet, to accept less than the best? What is the lie that's kept your soul from knowing its magnificence? Would you be willing today to call it a lie? To call it an illusion? I did a little research today. In this country, we have had 1.2 million people at least die for our freedom. It's a huge number. 1.2 million people have died for our freedom. Have died for our freedom. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. And what's interesting is that we want somebody else to set us free. But spiritually, we were given the power to be free. And as any one of us demonstrates freedom in our own life, it creates a training reaction for everyone. Today, I'm going to invite you to challenge the things that have kept you from being free. I want you to go after them. I want you to be bold and wonderfully crazy going after those limitations that have kept your soul small. And I want you to make yourself a promise that you will know what you want, that you will live a life where you can over and over and over again tell yourself, even if nobody else, but at least yourself, that you will tell yourself what you want. That you will believe that you can have what you want. And when you begin to believe in an illusion, you'll be willing to call it a lie. So that you can take steps every day, to be free. Together, I know what I want. Together, I know what I want. I believe I can have what I want. I believe. And what is no longer true in my life, I call a lie. Together? And what is no longer true in my life, I call a lie. Let's pray. And I invite you to open your mind, your heart, your soul to the activity of God. That there is one presence and one power within you. That you've been given the fullness of God right here and right now to create the most amazing life possible for you and for everyone else. That we are not in this alone. We are creating a world that works for everybody. That every man, woman, and child on this planet gets to live in a world that works for everybody. I know what I want. I believe that I can have what I want. And when I see those things that have kept me small, that have kept me quiet, that have kept me passive, I call them lies. For I know what I want. I believe that I can have what I want. And today I take one step in fully expressing my freedom. And so it is. Amen. God bless you all. Happy 4th of July. So what's your homework for this week? Do I know what I want? Do I believe that I can have what I want? And when I hear things that are no longer true, I'm willing to call them a lie. Okay? Are you willing? Okay, let's stand. Let's sing together our song of peace. And let's go get some ice cream. Together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. God bless you all. Have a great week.